Loyola Marymount professor Fernando Guerra is here this morning to share his insight. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So let's start with last night's debate. Which candidate stood out for you?
Elizabeth Warren and Amy Klobuchar, I think, were the strongest. I think that Bernie Sanders, consistent as always. Joe Biden, okay, but he still has a shaky moments. I think Buttigieg, if anybody, was really under attack consistently, although he had a great moment. We just saw it. That was an awesome moment for him. But everything else, he was really under attack. Then you think about Yang and Steyer, and they only got 1% in Iowa. They hardly made an impact in this debate, and so one has to start wondering, when is it time for them to leave the stage?
Well, let's talk a little bit more about the Iowa caucus. How big of a surprise was Pete Buttigieg's showing?
So, I mean, obviously the biggest surprise in Iowa was the debacle of not being able to count.
Yes.
I mean, you guys have talked about it on this news show and every news show. That was number one. I think Pete was then the top one of the top vote getters, top delegate. It wasn't expected. I thought he would do well, but not this well. And I think the third story in Iowa is Sanders. While we keep talking about him getting the most votes, I think he underperformed there compared to 4 years ago. He should have won Iowa by a lot more. At least I thought so, let's say 2 or 3 weeks out. So Pete Buttigieg, I think, was not only the numerical winner, but I think even the momentum, and you're seeing it right now.
And Joe Biden had a poor performance in Iowa. What does that really mean for the former VP going forward?
Yes, I mean, 4th place in Iowa. It is possible that he'll be in 4th place again in New Hampshire. And then, his stronghold is going to be South Carolina. He's got there great in the polls, but if people in South Carolina say, hey, this guy finished 4th twice, and they're going to start looking at other possibilities, and I think that's going to weaken him. I still think he does well in South Carolina, but he's got to at least finish in 3rd place in New Hampshire. Otherwise, he's going to heavily impact him in South Carolina.
And what else are you expecting in New Hampshire?
I think number one is that Sanders again. I think he has to overperform. He needs to, it's his state to win or to lose. I think he'll definitely come in 1st place, but it's that distance in turn between him and the person in 2nd place.
Now, the impeachment trial is over. The only real surprise there was that Mitt Romney's vote to impeach. What does that really mean for his political career?
Well, I mean, there's all kinds of long-term, short-term, positive and negative, and how Democrats respond and how Republicans respond. Remember, he's not up for election until 2024. And so the idea that this would impact that election 4.5 years from now, not likely. He's one of the biggest names in Utah. He'll clearly survive this. In an interesting way, while he said he did this because of his faith, it's also politically an incredible position for him to leverage and be the person that can be the bridge between Democrats and Republicans, and if a Democrat gets elected, he almost becomes the leader again to some extent, especially if the Republicans lose the Senate. No Republican president, no Republican majority. Who's the Republican spokesperson? The one who stood out, the one who was a previous presidential candidate. He positioned himself quite well.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Professor, thanks so much
Thanks
for joining
having
us
me.
this morning.